Hey y'all, I'm Hanny XOXO, and welcome to or back to my channel. I run a small crochet business called XOXO Crochet Plus Whimsy, where I sell mostly crocheted plushies, all handmade by moi at in-person markets. I also try to post every single thing that I crochet on social media, such as Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Lemonade, you name it, and I will have all of those linked down below, as well as any other links or patterns that I mention in today's video. If you've been around for a little while, you might know that I have a market coming up next month, actually in less than a month from today, because today is October 24th and the market is sometime in the middle of November, so I really don't have that much time to be prepping for this market. And y'all, I haven't even put in a yarn order yet. Can you believe? I really need to get to with that. So today I thought that it might be kind of fun for me to share my market plan with y'all, as well as how I developed that market plan and just some general tips. That's probably what I'll start with, is some of my just general market tips, advice that I've learned for creating specifically a market prep plan from the few markets that I've done this year. I am still kind of new to the game, so I'm not out here claiming to be a professional and expert, but I have learned a lot of useful things. And I was like, I should share these with everyone, these little tips that I have. It might be helpful. But I also just want to share my market prep plan that I have. And then, for the best part, at least for me, is going yarn shopping. And Premiere right now has a sale for 20% off the entire Parfait collection. And if y'all know anything about me, you'll know that I go crazy for Parfait Chunky. It's my favorite yarn. I love to use it. I love me some Parfait Chunky, and I can only get it online. So today we'll be doing some online Premiere Parfait Chunky yarn shopping. So get excited for that. But first, let's just get right into it. I want to share my top 3 tips that I have for creating a market plan. All right, so my first market prep planning tip is more of a mental one to keep you mentally sane rather than a strategic one. But my first tip is to make things that you genuinely love and enjoy making, because it'll help you from getting burnt out. And don't get this confused. I'm not saying that every single item that you make has to be a passion project or something that you really, really love, because I totally get it. We're here for a market, we're here to make money. And so sometimes we do have to make some of those market prep patterns over and over again. But all I'm saying is, if you're having a day where you're getting real tired of making your market prep patterns that you always make, maybe take a day where you just make things that you actually want to make. And I find that this actually keeps me more productive and keeps me more on track, because if I just force myself for like a week straight to only make minis, which I have done before and I can do it, but it is so exhausting and it just makes me want to put down the hook for like a week and just not crochet anything for like a week, because I'm just so burnt out from making things that I'm not super passionate about. And so if I literally just give myself like one day a week to make something that I really love, that I'm really passionate about, letting myself find a pattern that I would want to make even like for myself. If I was to make something for myself, I pick out a pattern like that, something that looks like something that I would genuinely love and enjoy myself. And that makes the process more fun, at least for me. So that is my number one tip, is make sure that sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you're at least throwing in some things in there that you really, really just love to make to keep yourself from getting burnt out. And the next tip that I have And this is basically just where I started when I was getting into doing my first market. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't even know what people sell at these things. Because before that, I'd only made wearables, y'all. I'd never made plushies. And so I was just very new to it. I didn't know what to do. And so I ran to YouTube and I searched other people's market prep plans, and I also searched for people's market results to see like what their best sellers were and things like that to kind of get an idea of what's selling well at the time. And so I highly suggest looking at other people's YouTube videos with their market prep plans as well as their market results, because I feel like it can also go one of two ways. You might see their market results and be like, oh wow, like these things are all hidden right now, they're selling, let me put that out. Or it could be kind of a warning of these things are hitting really well right now, but maybe for me, the market will be too oversaturated. Maybe I need to make some unique pieces for my market. So I just find videos like that to be so helpful. For me, it's like doing research, and I honestly need to start watching more market prep videos and such because I haven't watched crochet YouTube for so long, y'all. So I definitely need to get back into that because doing your research on YouTube can actually be so helpful. And shout out to all the crochet creators out there who put out such good market prep plans and market results because they really are so helpful. So that is my second tip. And my third tip is about collecting data and using that data. And this is something that you'll be able to do if you've done at least a few markets. You don't even have to have been doing markets for a super long time, but as long as you've done a few markets, you'll be able to do this. If you're new to this tip can also be helpful to you to know what to do at your first market, because when you attend your markets, you're not just attending the market to sell your items. No, this is a whole experiment we're doing, okay? And maybe it's just because I used to be, a biotech girly, and so I'm always trying to follow the scientific method and always trying to turn everything in my life into a whole experiment. But I'm telling y'all, these markets, they really are like experiments, and you need to be collecting data before your market, during your market, and after your market. Obviously, before your market, you're gonna want to write down or somehow keep track of. I personally use Excel spreadsheets. I track my entire inventory of how much of every item I have. I track all the different variations that I have. I track the price that I'm planning to sell them for, all of that. So then after my market, I can compare my like post market inventory to that to know everything that sold, if there's any price fluctuations, also to see what priced items people are wanting to buy. If people weren't willing to buy the higher priced items, some markets people only want to buy the lower priced items. Other markets, people are more willing to buy those higher priced items. Also, what kinds of items people were attracted to.
Hey y'all, Editing Hanny here, and in the video I didn't mention anything about actually tracking your inventory or I guess your transactions, what you're selling actually during the market, because that doesn't really have to do with creating a market plan for future markets, and I was trying to keep this video concise, trying not to ramble on, but now that I think about it more, I think it is important to mention just in case anyone is watching this video and you are new to markets. It is really important to be tracking everything that's selling during your market in real time, whether you want to write that down, write it on your phone, make a spreadsheet. I personally track it on Square and I also write it down in my notes app on my phone just to make sure. And that's just important so that you can compare your post market inventory to what you should actually have on hand after your market, just to keep track of profit, all that good stuff. But again, it doesn't really have to do with actually creating your market plan, but I thought I should just add in a little mention of that here. But anyways, let's get back to the video.
All of that is so important. So that's why you have to be tracking your data before the market, after the market, and also during the market. You need to be making those observations. Like, I always have my eyes, ears, everything open. I try to listen to people's conversations, not me being nosy, but I'm so serious. It really can help you with your research. Like, if someone says to their friend, like, oh, this is so cute, but I wish it came in this color, looks like you need to start making those things in that color. Or if someone's like, oh, I have a dog at home and there's only loaf kittens here. I wish there was also loaf puppies. Are there loaf puppies? I think there are. I don't make them yet. Maybe I should. But actually, if someone says that, yes, you actually should look into that and start making that. You'll see examples of that when I go into my market plan for this market. For example, I've done this market before, and the last time I did the market, so many people came up to the booth asking if we sold any type of mermaid items, anything mermaid related, anything they wanted, just anything mermaid. And I didn't have nothing, no mermaid related items at all, nothing. And so now be sure that for this upcoming market, I do have Little Mermaids on my prep plan because I had so many people come up asking for that. And if I wouldn't have taken super detailed notes the first time I did this market, I might not have remembered that for the second time around. So definitely, 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 I cannot stress the importance of keeping track of all that data, all of it from before the market, during the market, after the market, and keeping that stored somewhere so that you can refer to it later on for your future markets. It's so, so important. And again, your observations don't need to be you actually talking to people or people actually coming up to you like they did to me and actually asking for a specific item. It can just be, again, like I said, you listening and hearing someone's conversation. Or if you see that they're wearing like a certain character or a certain animal on their shirt, or if they just have a certain overall style, or watching while they're browsing and seeing which items they might just be like lingering on a little bit longer, or it might be taking longer for them to decide if they do want to make that purchase or not. Even those little things like that can show you what people in that area at that market, that clientele specifically, what they might be into. And again, everyone is different. If one specific person is wanting one very specific niche item, I'm not saying you now need to change your whole market prep plan to center around that specific character, animal, item, whatever it might be, but just to get a general idea, because a lot of times the people in a certain area, at least for me so far, what I've found is they do tend to like similar things. And a lot of times I have even had people fight over if I've only had one of a certain item. I've had people try to fight over the item before, which I am excited to share those stories too in future videos because craziness has happened with that. But things like that can show you, oh wow, people in this area are really drawn to this specific whatever it might be. So definitely looking out for those cues is just so important. So that is my tip number 3, and those are all of my top 3 tips. And I honestly have so many more, but I'm just excited to get, of course, to the yarn shopping part of this video. So I feel like I was trying to keep this a little bit concise and also just to give you guys, like, seriously, my top 3 tips, like, not to overwhelm you guys. But if you would like a video on more tips for creating a market plan, definitely let me know in the comments because I feel like I do have so much more that I could share. Also, if you guys have any really good advice for creating a market prep plan, definitely leave that in the comments as well. Whether it be for me, because again, I am no professional and I can always use more advice, or for anyone else who might stumble across this video and be reading the comments. I think it would be really nice if we could all like share our tips in there and make it just a nice little sharing community. Crochet market plan prep, creating the plan tips sharing community. Y'all know what I mean. I just feel like that could be so fun. But let's now move on to my market plan of what I'm planning to sell at my next market. All right, so when it came to this market prep plan, I definitely combined some strategic items with some just things that I think would be fun to make. So definitely, using my own tips to write in some things that might not be super strategic, but that would keep me from going insane, which, we all got to do it. So first, I'm going to start with the items that I just really have been wanting to make that I think would be fun to make, but I'm not so sure how they'll do at this market. Didn't really use too much strategy when planning these things. I just was like, this would be so cute and fun to make, and I want to make it. And so that's what these first items will be. Also, every single pattern that I share with you guys will, of course, be linked down in the description if y'all want to make some for yourself. So, the first item on my market prep list is these super cute little Christmas fidget pops. And these are by Cable and Canvas. And I have made one other pattern that I know for sure by Cable and Canvas before, which was these little fidget pop bunnies. And I actually made those for the last time I did this same market, but the Easter version of it. So, this market that I'm doing now, I'm not sure if I've mentioned it yet or not, but I've already done it one time before earlier this year. I want to say it was in March or April. And I actually made a video about that. You can definitely check it out if you want to. But I ended up making a lot of seasonal items for that market, and basically hardly any of the seasonal items sold. But I personally enjoy making seasonal items. I just find it fun. And last time when I made these little bunnies for the Easter market, they were just so fun to make. And I just really enjoyed making them. I remember I made 5 of them, and I made all 5 at once because after I made the first one, I just enjoyed it so much that I didn't want to stop making them. And so that's why I want to make these little guys for my upcoming market. I don't know how they're gonna do. We'll see. But again, this part of the plan is just kind of the things that I'm making for fun to keep me sane and not super strategic. And this pattern is a 6-in-1 pattern, so it comes with 6 little fidget pops. It comes with a reindeer, a Christmas tree, a penguin, an elf, a snowman, and a Santa Claus. So there's a lot of different options. And I don't know, maybe other people were just sleeping on it because I even advertised them as fidget pops and everything. So I don't know if people just aren't into it anymore, but me personally, I love a fidget toy. So I just think these are so fun and cute. And again, I just had to make them, had to do it. I'm also planning to be making 2 of each of those, so I should have 12 in total. And the next item on my market prep planning list that has no strategy of things I'm just making for fun is cute little keychains. And I don't have a photo to show you guys of these yet because I just am thinking of them still in my brain of what I want them to look like. Because if you guys saw my weekly vlog from last week, I did like all this charm shopping and I bought all these like Halloween charms that were so cute. And basically, I'm addicted to shopping for charms now. And so expect more of those videos in the future as well because oh my gosh, I've already been going crazy with the charm shopping. But I found all these really cute Christmas charms and I thought it would be cute to make little Christmassy keychains to sell. Again, the seasonal items didn't do that good at my last market, and the keychains also didn't do that good at my last market. But I really enjoyed making the seasonal keychains for my last market. So again, I'll be making some seasonal keychains regardless of how well they do because I just think they would be so cute. I feel like I would even give them out as gifts if they didn't sell because I don't know. I think they're going to turn out really cute. Basically, my idea is to have like the little keychain, it'll have 3 different things hanging from it. One of them will be a little strand of like all the different charms that I found. And then another one will be, of course, a little crochet plushie because this is a crochet business, okay, people? We gotta have a crochet on the keychain. And then the other little thing will be like the little friendship bracelet letters. Do I have any friendship bracelets? I do. Like little letters like this, you know, that can be hanging up on it. One of them will be the charms, one of them will be the crochet, and then the other one will be like the friendship bracelet type of thing. I don't know. I think it's gonna be so cute, and honestly, that's all I care about right now. But those are the only two items on my list that are like the funsy items that I just wanted to make for fun. And now let's get into the strategic items on my list, aka the rest of my market plan list, and the things that actually matter. No, that's not true. The things that I think people will actually want to buy. I mean, I hope that people want to buy the other stuff too, so let me not put that out into the universe. Ugh, words are hard. Alright, the first item on my list. Well, technically the third item on the market prep planning list, but the first strategic item to show up on the list is gonna be scrunchies. And I'm planning to bring 10 of these. I already have 9 made, and I'm planning to show y'all everything that I've already made in like a part 2 market prep video because this one is probably gonna get way long and out of hand between my yapping and then later when I'm yarn shopping, it's probably going to take for freaking ever. So look forward to everything that I've made coming up in a video. But I am planning to bring those scrunchies with me. And yes, this is a strategic plan because last time I went to this market, so I do these markets also with my mother-in-law. Not to get too much into the backstory, maybe one day I will in a video, but yes, I do the markets with my mother in law, and she sells scrunchies, but cloth ones. So last time we did this market, a lady really liked the scrunchies, but she was like, I don't like cloth scrunchies. I specifically want a crocheted scrunchie. And I was like, well, girl, I don't sell those. And I was specifically not selling them too because that was like my mother-in-law's whole gig and I wasn't trying to step on her toes with it. But I ended up getting so many requests for crochet scrunchies that now I do make them. So hopefully the people will be happy this time that I have crochet scrunchies for them. And the next item on the list is penguins because I only brought one penguin with me last time I did this market and people ended up really liking him. It was like my most popular item and people, I'm pretty sure, even came back later after he sold asking if I still had him, and I didn't anymore. And so I definitely want to make more penguins because, I mean, not only did people already love penguins, and that was around Easter time, but now it's like the holiday season, which is the season of the penguin. So, of course, I gotta make some of those. So, I'm planning to make 3 of these little penguins. And the next item is the one that I already mentioned in my little top 3 tips that I gave, but it is, of course, mermaids. And this pattern is also by Cable and Canvas, and I have been wanting to make these for so long. This pattern has been in my cart for an extremely long time. Honestly, I'm pretty sure ever since people were asking for the mermaids at the first market is when I found this pattern and added it into my cart. But I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And now that I'm doing this market again, I'm finally gonna be making some cute little mermaids. And right now, I'm planning to make 3 of them. I would like to make more, but also if you guys do notice I'm keeping my numbers really low, it's again because I just didn't give myself enough time for this market. Well, I just didn't know. I didn't know about it until last minute, which is the same thing that happened to me last time as well. And I don't even have the yarn yet, so I'm keeping these numbers low. Don't worry, I do still have yarn in my stash and I'll be making some things in the meantime. But just in case y'all were wondering, that's why I'm keeping the numbers low. So for now, only 3 mermaids, but I would love to make more of them. I also think they're so cute, and I just know I'm gonna love making them. So hopefully I can knock some more out than just the 3. But for now, we're keeping it to 3 mermaids. And the next item on the list is going to be turtles. And I'm going to be bringing 3 different turtle patterns with me because people at this market, again, one of the notes that I wrote down was turtle lovers. I'm pretty sure every turtle that I brought with me, every different kind of turtle, sold out. And I had more people asking if I had other kinds of turtles. People in that area just love turtles, I guess. So the first turtle pattern that I'm bringing with me is these mini sea turtles. I've been making these for every single one of my markets that I've done from my very first market up until now. I'll never stop. They're in my collection of minis that I always make, so I'll definitely be making more for this market, especially since, again, these people are turtle lovers. And the other turtle pattern that I'll be making is these little bit bigger turtles, and they're also not sea turtles. They're more of like a land turtle type of style, I feel like. And they're also baby safe, which I know that I can make the first ones baby safe as well if I just embroider eyes, but it's fine, it's whatever. For some reason, the first ones I put safety eyes in, and these ones, for some reason, I embroider the eyes on them. It's just how it is, it's just how it goes. There's no explanation. It's fine, it's whatever. But yes, I will be bringing. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I'm gonna be bringing 5 of the little mini sea turtles, and I'm also gonna be bringing 5 of these little bit bigger, but also still small, but baby safe turtles. And then I'm also gonna be bringing 3 cheeky turtles. And y'all know I be bringing the cheeky turtles at every one of my markets. They almost always sell out, except for this one guy because his booty's too big, and I still need to fix his shell probably before this market because I haven't been able to sell him. The struggle when your booty is too big. But I am planning to bring, so I already have the one made that has the too big a booty, and then I also have one made that I've already showcased in a previous video that is a Halloween themed turtle. And so I don't know if that guy is gonna, I don't know, we'll have to see if he sells or not because he is Halloween themed, and this market is gonna be, a few weeks after Halloween, so I don't know if people will still be into it. Me personally, I celebrate Halloween all year round, so I would love a Halloween plushie no matter the time of year. But we'll see how these people feel about it. I don't know. But then the third turtle that I'm planning to bring is I want to make another mushroom cheeky turtle, the mushroom variation, where the color I use on his body is actually the mushroom color. Haha, so funny. But then I make the cap and the shell red with white spots to make him look like a little mushroom guy. And that guy always sells out every time. I have not had a chance to make more of those. So excited to make him. And shifting gears away from the turtles, the next item that I'm planning to make is chickens, because the chickens did so good the first time I did this market. The chickens were basically equivalent to the turtles, except I know for sure that the chickens didn't sell out, but I did bring a lot of them with me, I'm pretty sure, and I sold more than half of them. So, definitely going to be bringing the chickens again, and I'm planning to bring 6 chickens. We'll see how many I make. And the next item on the list was definitely a popular item at this market, and it's honestly been a popular item at every market that I've done. They've always sold out, but it's little axolotls, and I'm planning to make 5 of these little guys. And the final item on my market prep planning list is bumblebees. And these guys again did so good the last time I did this market. People loved the little bees, so I'm definitely gonna be bringing them back with me again this time. I also personally just love making the bees, so it's a win-win. And I'm planning to make 5 little bees. So that is all the items that I currently have on my market prep planning list. But as I had that brief intermission to explain myself, it's just because I don't know for sure if I'll have enough time to make a lot of things. And so for this list specifically, it's all the things that I'm wanting to make with the parfait chunky yarn that I'm planning to purchase right now. So let's get into the yarn shopping, the best part. At least for me. I hope you guys have fun with this too. It's so fun shopping for yarn, but I'm also so indecisive. So hopefully this doesn't take all night, but no promises. All right, y'all, let's get into some yarn shopping. And first of all, if I look different or if the lighting's different, it is in fact a new day because my storage got full, so I had to upload all these files and it took literally forever. So we're back on a new day, and with full transparency, I did already do this yarn shopping because, as I mentioned earlier in the video, it is coming down to crunch time, and I had to get this order in as quickly as possible to make sure that the yarn will get here so that I have enough time to make at least some things in time for my next market. But I did still want to take y'all with me through my yarn shopping process because, I mean, first of all, like, yarn shopping is just fun. At least if you're me, it is. And also, if you guys have never been on the Premiere website before, or if it's been a while since you've last been on the Premiere website, I wanted to show y'all all of the colors of Parfait Chunky that they have, especially all the new colors that they've gotten, because they have gotten quite a few new colorways in recently. And so if you've never been on the website, it's been a while, then it might be kind of fun to look at all the colors that they have. And I also just wanted to kind of show you guys the process that I do go through mentally when I am purchasing yarn, because yarn shopping really is a whole experience for me. It doesn't just start at the actual shopping part of it, but I do take multiple steps before I even start shopping to make sure that I buy exactly the yarn that I need. And I feel like this can be kind of different from how other people do their yarn shopping, at least other like crochet YouTubers that I've seen, because a lot of people just have a huge yarn wall so they can clearly see all the yarn that they currently have, and then they're able to restock as they need to. So if they see they're running out of a color, they know that they need to order more of that color or whatever it might be. But for me, since I have a very, very tiny yarn wall, I don't even think you can call it a yarn wall. I'll put a picture of it right here, maybe. I've also showed it in one of my videos before as well. But we live in a really small space, so I just don't have a lot of room to store yarn. And so I can't really base my yarn off of just looking at the yarn wall and knowing if I'm running out of a certain color or not. I have to really make a plan of exactly what colors I need, and it does take me a while. So first I'm going to walk you guys through the steps that I took before I even went onto the Premier Yarns website. So the first thing that I did is I took an inventory of all of the Parfait Chunky yarn that I currently have, and I wish that I could keep up this inventory 24/7 and have a constant current inventory list, but I don't know why. I feel like I'm just doing too many other things, and adding in another spreadsheet that I'm having to consistently update is just too much for me right now. And so what I do is, before I do my yarn shopping, and I usually always stick to buying one type of yarn, specifically when I'm ordering from Premier, I should say. And so, since this time is going to be a Parfait Chunky shopping trip, since they have the 20% off Parfait right now, that is the only yarn that I am actually going to be taking inventory of. But for example, if I was planning to shop for like chenille basics or whatever, then I would make sure that I would inventory all of that yarn. But since I knew I only wanted to get Parfait Chunky this time around, I only took an inventory of my Parfait Chunky. And so that was the first step that I took, because I know that I do not want to get duplicate yarns because, again, I just don't have the space for it. I have very little space. I learned this the second time I ever made a yarn order from Premier, because I wasn't really keeping track of anything. I was just kind of having fun with it, buying whatever colors I liked, whatever I thought I would need, and that turned out horribly. I'm literally still trying to get through like 5 skeins of lilac that I don't know why I ordered. So that is the first step that I take. And what I personally do is I love spreadsheets. It just makes it easier on my brain to understand the information that I'm taking in. And so I do make an Excel spreadsheet, but it's very basic. I just put the color of the yarn on the very left column. And then I do a column for how many full skeins I have, a column for how many partial skeins I have, and then a column for if I only have scraps, so that I know exactly how much of each type of yarn that I have, because each pattern is different, of course. Some patterns you might only need a small scrap of yarn to make it, whereas other patterns you'll need a lot more yarn to make it. And obviously, you do not have to make an Excel spreadsheet. I know that might be a little bit extra. I think it's just because, as I always say, it's my STEM, my biotech brain. Just that's what I did all throughout college, was making spreadsheets. That's what I'm comfortable with. But you can totally just make a very simple list. You could even probably write it in the notes app of your phone to make it easy, something like that. So it definitely does not have to be a difficult process. But if you're like me and you don't have a lot of space for yarn, it's not easy for you to visualize the colors that you currently have, I definitely recommend taking a inventory of your yarn before buying more, so that you know exactly what you have on hand already. The second step that I take before even starting to shop for yarn is making another list. Because I am just such a list spreadsheet girl. I don't know what else to tell y'all, but I make a list of every single pattern that I'm planning to make for my upcoming market. So basically, just my market plan, like I shared with y'all a little earlier, but I take it a step further, so I don't just make that market plan just a general market plan of the patterns I want to make and how many, but I go into detail of exactly which variants I want to make and how many of each variant I want to make and which colors I need for each of those variants. So I need to know all of those things and have them on a list before I even start my yarn shopping, because I want to make sure that I don't forget to order a color, or again think that I need way more of a color than I actually need and end up over ordering. So I always take a very detailed list of exactly what I'm going to be making and what colors I need for each of those projects. And those are the only two things that I really do before I start my yarn shopping. But I mean, those two things alone can take a lot of time and be very tedious. So that is why I keep my pre-yarn shopping to only those two steps. I don't even know what other steps I would take. I feel like that's already doing the most. I probably do not need to add in any more steps. And I know for a lot of other people, y'all might not even have to take these steps at all. If you can clearly see what yarn you already have in your yarn wall, if you've been keeping track already of what colors you're running out of, what you need to order next, things like that, you might not even have to do this at all. Or if you make the same patterns for each of your markets, I know that a lot of people do that, especially in the UK, because I know that they have to go through the comprehensive testing and everything there, which is so crazy. Like, props if you're from the UK and you sell your crochet. Props to y'all, because that sounds just like so crazy. I don't know if I could go through all that. But if you're like that, you probably don't have to do any of these steps at all. But since I live in a small space and curse me for going to college. It was, yeah, honestly, a blessing and a curse. No, in all seriousness, I did actually love college and it helps me a lot, the things that I learned with running my own business now. But I always feel like I have to make everything into a multi step process, making multiple spreadsheets in list, and it can't just be easy. I can't just make the same items at every market, because I have to change up my product mix based on my audience, which is probably a good thing, but it just makes everything so much more complicated. Enough of me complaining about how much I overcomplicate my own life. Let's get into the fun part. Now that we have our current Parfait Chunky yarn inventory, as well as our very detailed market plan ready and open right next to us, we can go ahead and go to premieryarns.com and start our yarn shopping. All right, y'all, I hope that this is working. My plan is to have my Premier yarns up on the screen while I'm doing this. I'm trying to screen record from my laptop. Never done this before, so hopefully all is going well. Hopefully all is working so that you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at, what I'm clicking on, all that fun stuff. Again, I did already do this shopping, but I'm gonna take y'all through and show y'all exactly the mindset that I had while I was doing this, and also show you guys all the fun colors that they have because they have so many new colors, and it was so hard for me to not just like want to buy them all. I also, I haven't mentioned this yet, but I will say another part of my yarn shopping strategy is actually not strategic, and you might already get this vibe about me from the first part of the video when I gave my top 3 tips and made sure that one of those tips was about having fun, because I can't just stick to strategy. I also love to have fun. So when I do my yarn shopping, I always make sure that I buy the yarn that I need first to make the patterns that I'm planning to make for my market. But if I, at the end, have some leftover money to spend in my budget, then that is when I will get some of the new colors of yarn or colors of yarn that I just really like, that I'm drawn to, that I've never used before, whatever it might be, just because that's what keeps it fun for me. And so you'll see if I find any fun colors today that I want to try out. Let's find out. Let's see if we find anything. All right, we are on premieryarns.com and first let's go to the yarns. Let's go. Um oh, I could have just typed in. I could have just gone to the sale. Let's go to the sale because again, I've said it a million times, but I won't stop because I want everyone to know Parfait Chunky is on sale, 20% off, currently $3.99. Let's freaking go. Also, the entire Parfait collection is on sale, but I have admittedly never used any of the other brands or whatever in the Parfait collection. I've only ever used Parfait Chunky. Let me know what you guys think if you've used any of the other Parfait collection lines, especially Parfait Plush. I've been wanting to try it, but not sure if I'm willing to pay the price yet. Let me know. But here we are. We're on the Parfait Chunky. All right, Parfait Chunky, here we come. Are you ready for us? Let's see what we're starting with first. I honestly am kind of happy that I already did this yarn shopping and now I can kind of retro shop this haul with y'all, because it literally took me like 2 or 3 hours to shop for this, y'all. Like, I could not decide what colors I wanted. I could not decide on nothing. So, here we go. Let's see. The first colorway that I want to shop for, and this actually doesn't correlate to a specific pattern, but I just know that I'm going to be making a lot of patterns that are of people that have skin tones on them. So, like Santas, elves, the mermaids, all that kind of stuff, any kind of doll. And so I just want to get a few different skin tones so that I know for sure I'll have those, because some of the other colors I at least know I have in stock, but I know I literally don't have any skin colors of the Parfait Chunky in stock. So I really wanted to get more skin tones, and what I was thinking would be good, I got 3 different shades. The first one is Shell, which is like just a nice like peachy kind of skin tone color. So let's add that to our cart. And next, I really love this color, Teddy Bear, so nice. And so I also added that to my cart. I've actually never used Teddy Bear before because it's always been out of stock when I've tried to order it. But I think that would make a really good skin tone as well. Also a hair color or just for anything. It's just a very pretty shade of brown. I really like it. Also, they have this new shade that's kind of a tan color called Almond Butter, and I thought that could also make a really nice skin tone, so let's add one of those to our cart as well. And there are our three skin tones. We have Shell, Teddy Bear, and Almond Butter, which I think those three are gonna make a good, like, variety of skin tones. I wish that I could get more. I wish that they had more. Let me know if you guys have any favorite skin tone colors of the Parfait Chunky specifically, because I'm just always curious, always on the lookout for what would be a good skin tone. Now that we've figured out our skin tones, next item on the list is actually for a pattern. It's for the Christmas fidget pops. So let's see. First, we want to find for the reindeer. I think that for the reindeer, I am gonna use the colors that I already added to my cart. This almond butter and this teddy bear probably I think would go really cute together to make the reindeer. I also have cocoa already in stock, which is, let me show you this color right here. And I also showed this in my last yarn haul as well. And that's a really nice shade of brown. So I feel like any of those, I'm honestly gonna be pretty stocked for my skin tones, my tans, my neutrals, my browns, all of that after this order, I'm pretty sure, because those three browns, actually acorn too, might have to get that. But those three browns, the almond butter, the teddy bear, and oh, well, Shell's not a brown. So just almond butter and teddy bear, those are the only two browns that I don't have, I'm pretty sure. And acorn, which we might have to wrap back around to. But I think that almond butter and the cocoa or the teddy bear would make a really cute reindeer. And then the reindeer also has a red nose though. And I already have, where is it at? Where is it? Here it is. Cardinal. I already have Cardinal in my stash. So it would be smart to just get another skein of that or to just use the skein of that I already have. But this honestly is like kind of a darker shade of red, and I don't know, just for Christmas, I thought it might be fun to have a little bit of a brighter, more joyous shade for the reindeer nose, especially since Rudolph, his nose is supposed to shine to show Santa the way in the dark. I don't know, but I think that Poppy will be a better option, and I've used this color before, just not in Parfait Chunky, in Chenille Basics, and so I already know that I like this color, and I think that'll be perfect for the little Rudolph nose. And the next pattern on the list, or pattern within the pattern because we're still on the fidget pops, but it's the little Christmas tree. For the Christmas tree, I need a deep green for the actual tree part, I need brown for the stump, and I need red for the ornaments, and then yellow for the star, tree topper, whatever it is on top. And so, first of all, for the tree, I do already have emerald in my stash, which is this shade right here. And I do really like this shade of green. I think it's really nice. I think it goes really well with the cardinal specifically. These two shades, I don't know, they look really nice together. So I think that the emerald will be good for the tree, and I'm sure that it will look good with the poppy as well if I do want to use poppy for the ornaments. Or since I do have a like half a skein of cardinal, I could always use the cardinal that I already have in my stash for the ornaments. Point being that I have options. For the stump, I'm already ordering a bunch of browns, so don't gotta worry about that. And then for the tree topper, um, I could get like a yellow or something like this. I don't know, maybe I will. We'll think about it. But I do have Juicy Couture Sparkle in mustard, and that skein, I only have one left, y'all. Do they also, I haven't even looked into it. I'm just hoarding my Juicy Couture yarn still. But they might be selling it somewhere else now. I don't know. But all I know is it used to be at least exclusive to Joann. Joann's closed, so we don't have it anymore. But I still have that skein of sparkly mustard that I use exclusively as an accent yarn for I use when I make little cupcakes. I use it for the flame, and I think that that would also be really cute for the tree topper as well. So I don't think I need to worry about getting any yellow, but I kind of want to try out summer squash, so we might have to wrap back around to that, y'all. Next, we have the popping penguins, and these guys need white for their face. They need black for like the back of their head. They need orange for their little noses, and for their hats, I want to make like red and green, just classic Christmassy little hats. So let's see what we're gonna get for these guys. So I know that I for sure need more white yarn because I completely ran out of it after making those Halloweenies, the Halloweeny ghost, my little custom order that I did, completely out of white. And it's funny because I think I actually said too in my last yarn haul video that I did that white is my most used color, and clearly it is because I ordered 3 skeins of it, y'all. 3 skeins of white in my last haul, which was not even a month ago, I don't think, and I'm already completely out. So definitely got to get more white. Adding that to the cart. I also only have a partial skein of black left, and I think I also mentioned in that yarn haul video that black is my second most used color, and clearly that's also definitely true, so gotta add a skein of black to the cart. Okay, now I have a decision to make because I only have some scraps of tangerine left after that custom order where I'm pretty sure I ordered 3 skeins of orange or of tangerine. And now I only have like a small handful of scraps. And so, do I want to order more tangerine or do I want to try carrot? Which is a brighter orange. Looks a little bit more, a little darker, but like brighter at the same time. I know that the smart thing to do is to get the tangerine so that I can use up the scraps that I have and then have the extra, whatever. But since I only need a little bit of tangerine anyway, or of orange for the beaks, I think I'm gonna get the carrot. And then I can slit the little guys can have a little bit of different variations. You know, some of them can have the tangerine noses, and the other ones can have the carrot noses, so that there's a variety. You see how I justify my yarn purchases? So we're gonna add the carrot to cart. Also because I just want to try out the new colors, let's be real. And for the hat, I'm already ordering Poppy, and I'm having a hard time because I know I already have Emerald. But again, for the variety, I think it might be good to get another shade of green. And there's so many shades right now. Key Lime, I already have some scraps of, and it's not the color I'm going for the Christmas theme. But sage is like a really pretty Christmassy, almost like a winter wonderland type Christmas color because it's like almost like a flocked Christmas tree is what I'm imagining. I feel like that's a really pretty shade. What else do we have? Oh, Goblin. I haven't tried Goblin yet. It's no longer a new shade, I guess. It doesn't say new by it anymore. I guess it's been a while, but I remember when it was new and I was wanting to try it and I never could try it because it was always out of stock when it was new. But they have that in stock. But now it's not the color that I want because it's not a Christmassy green, I feel like. It's more of a forest green, which I love. I love a forest green, just not for this project. Let's see. Seaweed salad. Now this one is so pretty, and I think that the seaweed salad, let's compare them next to each other actually. I think that seaweed salad would look so good next to Poppy. Let's see. Let's see. Ugh, doesn't that just give Christmas? They just look so good together. Ugh, I'm kind of obsessed with that color combo. We also have sour apple, which kind of looks like if, like Goblin and seaweed salad had a baby. It would be sour apple, which I think is a really pretty shade, but again, it's more of the foresty. It would still be good for Christmas though, but I don't know if it would look good with Poppy specifically, and that's the red that I'm ordering, so I want to make sure that the green looks good next to the Poppy red. This Kelly green, I've been really wanting to try ever since it came out. I think it's so pretty. It was sold out last time I did my yarn shopping. Let's compare it to the other colors. See, the Kelly green and the seaweed salad are so close in shade. But I honestly, it's crazy, guys, because I've been wanting to try the Kelly green for so long. I've been trying to do anything I can to justify purchasing it. But I think that the seaweed salad looks better next to the poppy. Right? But I'm nervous that the seaweed salad might look a little more blue in person. Oh, but it looks so good in these pictures next to the poppy. It looks so good. You know what? I gotta do it, y'all. Seaweed salad. Adding it to the cart. I just really like it, and I think it looks so good with the poppy, and we need more variety. Again, we can't just have one shade of green. We need at least two. So I'm happy with that purchase. All right. I'm sorry if the screen recording or anything is looking a little bit different. I did have to go upload more files because once again, I ran out of storage, but we're back. And the next items on my list, I actually already either am ordering the yarn right now for it, or I already have the yarn in my stash. And so to save us some time, I'm gonna still go over which patterns those are, but we don't actually have to go through the whole shopping of it all because I already either have it or I'm ordering it right now. Sorry if I'm looking down, by the way. It's because I have my iPad open with that list open that I was talking to y'all about with all the colors that I need. So I'm going to read off the patterns that I already have the yarn for. First one is the snowman, which needs white, orange, and then red and green for the hat. And so again, already ordering all those colors. The elf needs a skin color, a hair color. It needs white for the accents, and then one of the elves needs a green hat, and then the other elf needs a red hat. Again, already ordering all those colors. And then last we have the popping Santa, which needs a skin tone, white for the beard, and red for the hat. And those are all of the popping Christmas minis that I'm making that I need the yarn for. And the next item on the list is going to be the keychains that I'm making. And I don't even know if I told y'all what the plushie is that I'm putting on the keychains. I know I told y'all about the little letters that I'm putting on them and the charms and all that. But the little plushies, I found these little mini Christmas plushie patterns on Etsy, and I thought that those would be really cute to put on the little keychains. It was taking me a little while to decide what sort of theme I wanted to go for the keychains, because obviously the safe option would be to make like general ones that could be sold all year round. But I figured that Christmas ones would be really cute for the season, and I don't really care if they don't sell at the market because I still think that they would be cute to give to my friends and family as gifts as well. And so that's what I decided to go for the little cutie keychains that I'm making. And so for about half of these patterns, I already have the yarn for them as well. So that would be the reindeer, which needs light brown for the face and antlers, a medium brown for the body, and of course the red for the nose. And then the Santa needs a skin color, a red for the suit and the hat, white for the beard and accents, and black for the belt and the shoes. And then the snowman, similar to the other snowman, the popping snowman, this guy needs white for his body, orange for his nose. He needs black, or I might use brown for the arms, and red for his scarf. And then the little elf needs a skin color, a hair color, and green and red for his suit, hat, all of that. And for those patterns, again, I'm already either ordering those colors or I already have those colors in stock. And I thought that would be another good reason of why to make Christmassy little keychains, because I am already ordering the red and the green for the popping little guys, and those guys are so tiny they're not going to take a lot of red and green at all, so might as well use up that yarn in some little keychains. I thought that would just be really cute. Alright, now let's get back into the patterns that I don't have all the yarn for yet, and still keeping with the Christmas keychain patterns, the next one is the little gingerbread guy. And for this guy, I do already have the cream yarn and the red yarn that I'm gonna need for his little icing and his buttons. This guy also, just side note, he's so adorable. Like, right? I honestly thought of just making only gingerbread keychains because this guy is by far my favorite pattern within this collection of patterns. But maybe it's just me because gingerbread men are probably like my favorite thing around Christmas, like my favorite decoration and stuff. I love like the gingerbread theme. Anyway, that's a side note, but I do already have the cream and the red for those details. But for his actual body color, I was thinking, because I know I'm already ordering the teddy bear color, but and I already have the cocoa color as well, but I already looked at this one that I have at home, and that one's definitely way too dark for a little gingerbread guy. And the teddy bear honestly might work for a gingerbread because it is a little bit of a lighter brown, but I definitely want more, I don't know, of like a auburnish color, not too orangish, but I mean ginger. It's a gingerbread. I want a gingery color, and I thought that this chestnut color would be a nice color, but of course, it's freaking sold out. And so I was thinking the next closest one would probably be acorn, which I know I already talked about acorn earlier about wanting to circle back around to it. And I think that now we can finally justify adding it to the cart because I think that this is the best color for Little Gingerbread Man, right? I don't know. I mean, Premiere, if you're watching this, first of all, love you, love your company, but also we need a better gingery color, right? Or am I just missing it? I don't know, y'all. And I do know it might seem weird because I'm like cosplaying this whole yarn shopping experience right now since I did already purchase all this yarn. But I'm telling you guys, this is my exact thought process that I went through while I was doing this. And I'm still like second guessing my choices now. And while I was yarn shopping, I literally was like talking out loud to myself and I was like, I just wish like I should have gone live or something because I could not decide what to get. Also, sorry if anyone's disagreeing with my decisions and y'all are yelling and throwing things at your screen and you're like, girl, why didn't you choose this color instead? I don't know if anyone's that serious into this, but it really is so hard to decide. They have so many colors, and then of course when there's colors that I do want, they somehow don't have it. Ugh, I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I think acorn's good for gingerbread. Let's add it to the cart. Next, we have the little Christmas tree, and this guy requires the same exact colors as the little Christmas tree, the popping one. So it needs, of course, the green for the tree, the brown for the stump, the red for the ornaments, and the yellow for the tree topper. And I know that for the popping tree, I said that I was gonna use for the tree topper, the little star, whatever it is on top, that I was gonna use the sparkly mustard Juicy Couture that I have in my hoard in my stock. But since I am making two different types of Christmas trees, of course, I feel like now I can justify having some variety. And I think it would be really cute to make a tree that does have like a bright yellow, vibrant topper. So I think I am gonna get the summer squash, and I do already have some scraps of sunshine, which is, let me show you here. Sunshine is this color. I already have scraps of this in my current yarn stock, but I really barely have any. I literally can't even make a mini octo out of it. That's what I tried to make out of my sunshine scraps, and I didn't have enough. And so I I know the smart thing to do would be to order more sunshine since I know I already like that color, but I really like just how vibrant and deep this summer squash color is. And I also in my stock already have Maize, this color right here. But as you can hopefully kind of tell from how it looks on the screen, it is more of that goldenish color. And honestly, in person, to me, it looks a lot more orange than yellow. And so I like this summer squash color because it looks like a good mix between the maize and the sunshine. Because the sunshine, again, it is like a lighter shade of yellow. It's not super vibrant. And I like that the summer squash, it almost gives that like cartoony look. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but that like cartoony Christmas tree type of look is what I'm picturing in my head. And I think that this summer squash would like portray that really well. So I'm gonna add it to the cart. Let's freaking go. And so far, this is everything we have in our cart. And also, I don't think I even really mentioned my budget, but in case y'all wanted to know, like, because I do keep talking about, oh, keeping it under the budget, and if I have anything left in the budget, I'll go back again and add more skeins, da da da. So basically, my budget for my yarn shopping is usually between, I would say, $75 and $85. So basically, I force myself to spend the $75 because that's when you get free shipping. And to me, it's not worth it to pay for the shipping. The shipping is like 10 to 15 bucks at least for where I live. And that's just a lot for shipping to be ordering yarn. So I prefer to spend more money on yarn so that I don't have to spend money on shipping, if that makes sense. Because especially if y'all are in the same situation as me, where you know you're going to be constantly using this yarn, you're constantly going to be having markets or selling product online, whatever it might be, I think it's personally smarter to spend that money on the yarn rather than to spend it on shipping because you know that you're going to be making a profit off of that yarn when you're using it up and making product, but that shipping is just like wasted money. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't know if y'all think the same way that I do, but that's the way that I personally see it. So I always try to spend that 75 bucks to get that free shipping, but then I try to cut it off. Honestly, usually right when I hit 75, I stop the shopping unless I really, really need something else. But I like to try not to spend more than 85, definitely not more than 100, because again, your girl is on a tight budget. But since this is a business expense, gotta make the room for it. Plus, I mean, I just did a custom order, so I basically made all the money back plus more that I'll be needing to do this yarn order. So it all adds up, makes sense in the end. But I just thought that I should do a brief little mention of that. But back to the shopping, back to the patterns. Alrighty, so the Christmas tree was the last of the little keychain items that I had on my list of patterns, and also the last of my like fun, non-strategic patterns that I had that I just wanted to do for fun. So now we're getting into the yarn that I'll need for my really important, well, they're all important to me, but the ones that I actually strategically planned out. So the first item that we have is the scrunchies. And for the scrunchies, I don't use Parfait Chunky. I actually use velvet yarn because I like the way that it looks and the way that it feels much better than using like a yarn like a Parfait Chunky for the scrunchies. I just think that the velvet yarn is a lot more visually appealing, and I mean it's just so soft and so nice. So I actually get my scrunchie yarn from Amazon because they have velvet yarn on Amazon that's very affordably priced. And if you guys want to check out the same yarn that I use, I'll definitely have it linked down below. And I'll also down below link like my crochet essentials that I have in my Amazon storefront in case you guys want to see all of my crochet items that I purchase on Amazon, because I know that buying things on Amazon can be a lot easier than buying things like on Premiere or something where you have to worry about high shipping costs and things like that. So I'll definitely link all my crochet essentials, and that also includes everything that I use to make all of my everything. So the safety eyes, crochet hooks, and then for the scrunchies, I have little hair ties, all that stuff. So if you are just new getting into all of this, I have a lot of stuff linked in there, so that might help you out in getting started. Also, clicking that link does help me out. I do always want to warn you guys that and be transparent that if you do click on that link, it is helping your girl out. So if you don't want to help me out, then you can always just search on Amazon like velvet yarn or whatever you need. They have a lot of good crochet items on Amazon. But again, I'm always getting sidetracked. So sorry. Let's get back into these patterns again. And the next pattern after the scrunchies is gonna be the little penguins. And for these guys, I make 3 different variations, and all 3 of them do need white yarn for their faces. And so I think I'm actually gonna add another skein of white. I know that I already added the one, but again, white is definitely my most used color, and especially since I'm gonna be needing it for all 3 of the penguins and for basically every single one of the little mini guys, I'm definitely gonna order another skein of that. All 3 of the penguins also need either like mustard or orange, I usually use for their feet and their beaks. But again, I already have those colors either in my stock already, or I'm ordering like the color carrot, so I think I'll be good on that. And now is where they start to get their different variants. So for the first penguin, I follow also the exact colors that are used in the pattern picture because I'm not freaking creative in that way. And so I just follow the exact color. So the first one has a gray back, and so I use the color seal for that one. I'll show you guys what it looks like. I do already have it though, so I don't need to order it. This is seal, so that's for one of them. And that penguin also has a hat and a scarf. And the hat and the scarf are baby pink and hot pink. And the colors that I already have that I think go really well together in terms of like a light pink and a dark pink are, okay, this color for the baby pink, pink lemonade, and then this color hibiscus for the hot pink. I guess it's not really a hot pink, but the darker pink, whatever you want to call it. But I think that those 2 colors look so good together. Here, I can actually show you guys what they look like right next to each other. Let's compare the colors. And don't they look so good together, y'all? I also use these colors for my axolotls as well. I just think they look perfect together. They complement each other so well. They're two of my favorite pinks. So highly recommend color comboing pink lemonade and hibiscus if you also use Parfait Chunky, because those two colors look so good together. Again, I already have them in stock because I use them for my axolotls. So those are two colors that I do make sure I always have on hand, and I have plenty of it right now. So I don't need to order more of that. And that's all I need for the first variation of penguin. And the second penguin variation is a black penguin, which again, I'm already ordering black and I'm only using it for like little tiny parts of the minis. So I think I should have plenty of black for the black penguin. And that penguin is also wearing a cute little red sweater. And since I'm already ordering Poppy and again just using it for the minis, I think I should have enough of the Poppy to make his little sweater in that. And if not, I also am ordering Cardinal. Sorry, I literally have my laptop open in front of me. I can be clicking these colors as I'm talking about them. So, as we know, I already ordered the Poppy and I already have some Cardinal, and I think I would have enough Cardinal to make him a sweater if I had to. So I should be set for that. I don't really want to spend more money on that. And then the final little penguin is, he doesn't have any accessories on him. He's just a plain old penguin, but he's like a minty turquoise type of color. I think in the pattern it does list it as turquoise. And Premier does have a turquoise color, this one right here, that I've actually never used before. But your girl is gonna actually be smart and make a smart purchase, because I do already have a partial skein of this one, Sea Glass, which I will say Sea Glass is one of my favorite shades of Parfait Chunky. I absolutely love it. And so I think I'm just gonna add another skein of Sea Glass to my cart. Well, not another skein, a skein of sea glass to go with my skein of sea glass that I already have at home, because I'm actually already planning on making another project with the sea glass that I already have. And I think I might need more of it for that project. And so if it can double as the penguin color as well, I think that would be a more strategic way to spend my money. So we're going to add the sea glass to the cart, but I would love to try out the turquoise one day, because that turquoise color does look so pretty as well. I would love to try it. But right now, I'm trying to be smart because I've already made a lot of other additions to the cart that I might not have needed, like with the seaweed salad and things like that. So we're going to be smart right now and just get the sea glass. So that's all I need for the penguins, and the next pattern on my list is the little mermaids, the popping mermaids. And for these little girly pops, they literally are girly pops. I can't. For these little mermaids, I need, of course, skin colors and hair colors, which is why I already added all of those at the very beginning, because I knew I would need a lot of different skin colors, hair colors for all these different patterns. And the next main thing that I need for those is the tail and top colors. And for this part, I decided to go with three main colors, which I'll mix and match for each of the girlies. Depending, I'm planning on for sure making three, hopefully more. So the main color scheme I'm planning on is mint, periwinkle, and a dusty rose color. So let's see what we can find. So I know I already have two skeins of mint, so I don't think I need to order any more of that. Let me show you guys. This is what the mint color looks like. In person, it's of course more vibrant though. I literally have a skein of mint right next to me because I was using it last night. So this is what the mint shade looks like in person. Maybe it is, no, it's definitely more vibrant than on the website. That's mint. So that will be one of the tail colors. And then I wanted a periwinkle color, but of course they don't have like a true periwinkle on the Premier website, at least in Parfait Chunky. They have, of course, they have, you know, like a purple, like lilac, which it would be smart of me to just use lilac, but since I already have a lot of skeins of lilac, but that's just not what I want. They also have this dusty mauve that's kind of nice. Also, this one is a newer color that I've never used, Haze, but that one just looks so much like lilac to me that I don't know if it would be worth it to also get that color. This one, Cloudy Day, is like a really nice one that I honestly, okay, because I'll show you guys, I'll break the act and show y'all the one that I actually ended up getting. So I did end up going with Pale Blue. So we can add one of those to the cart since we know I already did it IRL. Well, I guess this is IRL. Since I already added that to my cart for sure. And I just was really debating between that one and Cloudy Day, but I was scared that Cloudy Day might come off too gray instead of like a purpley blue. So I thought going with pale blue would be better, but honestly, even the pale blue is a little more blue than I'd like, especially looking at it again. So I don't know, I might end up using the lilac that I have, honestly. Again, Premiere, if you're watching this, please, I need a periwinkle color. But I think that the pale blue will still be pretty and still go well with my color scheme of my mint with this. And then I also need a baby pink because, as I said, the baby pink that I have that I currently use, well, I don't think I said that it's the only baby pink that I have and currently use, but it is. But it's the pink lemonade, and this one is not really the vibe again that I'm going for. I want a little more of a dustier and lighter shade of pink, and this ballet pink color is really cutesy and pretty, and I do really like this one, but it is still a little bit too vibrant for what I'm going for. I also do, as I already showed, I love this dusty mauve. I've also never used this before, so I was actually tempted to get this one, but it's still a little bit darker than what I was wanting for the pink color that I'm imagining in my head. And this rose color right here is really light, but also not too bright. It has sort of a darkness to it. So I do really like this one. Plus, let's compare all of them actually. This one with, where's the mint? And then what's the other one? The pale blue. Let's compare. This is always so fun. If you don't use the compare feature on the Premiere website, you should start doing it. So here are three different colors together, and I think they look so pretty together, right? So I'm excited to make these little mermaids. I've also just been wanting to make mermaids for so long, and I think these colors look really cute together. I also, again, have no creativity. These are the three colors that are shown in the pattern for the tail colors. But I do think they look so pretty together, so that's why I went with that decision. Now that we've shopped for the mermaids yarn, now we need to shop for the yarn for the mini sea turtles. And for my mini sea turtles, I always use mint for their bodies and mustard for their shells. And as I've already said, I already have multiple skeins of mint, so I don't need to get any more mint. But what I do need to get more of is the mustard because I only have some scraps of mustard, and it might be enough for now to get me through, but mini sea turtles are a pattern that I make consistently all the time, so even if I have enough to make these sea turtles, I'll definitely need more for the future, so just gonna plan ahead for that and get a skein of mustard, and that's all I need for the mini sea turtles. And the next item on my list are the baby safe turtles, and for these I always use a variegated blanket yarn. Lately I've been using the chenille basics, the premier one for the shells, but I also use Bernat blanket sometimes, whatever I have on hand honestly. And then for the body I use Parfait Chunky, so I'll pair like the color of the body with whatever the color of the shell is. I can just show you an example right now, actually. on the website. I don't know why I'm not utilizing it. Let's search for the basics. So they have it here, this right here. So in the basics chenille brights, say like this is a color that I have right now, this spring color. I might use this color and then we can click the compare color to save it. Let's go back to Parfait Chunky real quick. So now I'll choose a color that would go well with that spring color. And the one that I usually use with that color is Key Lime. So let's click compare, but you could also use a different color as well, like say sea glass would probably look good with it, maybe mint. Oh, that one's already saved. I think it also has some yellow in it. We can add sunshine. And now let me show you what I'm talking about. So ignoring these ones from earlier, oh, I just deleted the mint, but you get the point. So see how all of these three colors, at least in my opinion, I think they all go really well with this color, this spring color of the basic chenille brights. And so what I would do is use this spring color for the shell and then one of these other three colors for the body. And at least I thought it looked really cute, but the first market I brought turtles to using this sort of technique, they did not sell well at all, but now I have sold out of all of those ones that I made because I've gone to a few different markets and they have sold well at other markets, but I guess it just depends on the market. But I want to make more of these turtles now since this market is my turtle lovers market, apparently. So, going back to Parfait Chunky, but what I want to switch up this time is I've seen some other people make their turtles in this way, where instead of using a colorful color for the body, they use a neutral color for the body and then the variegated color for the shell. And so what I want to do is I was thinking of using cream for the bodies, but they have this new marshmallow color. And so I think I'm going to get a skein of marshmallow to use for the bodies, and then I'll have the variegated still. I still have plenty of variegated yarns that I can use for the shells. Hopefully those do well. I don't know, we'll see. I'm sure I'll update you guys in the market results, so we'll see if they do well. And the next item on my list are the cheeky turtles, but I'm not using Parfait Chunky for that guy. I'm just going to be using the chenille basics that I already have and I already have the colors for. So the cheeky turtles are taken care of. And now to get back to shopping, so the next item on my list are the chickens, and I do already have all the colors that I need for chickens, except I think I'm gonna order another skein of black because I use black quite frequently and I only added one skein of it to my cart and I barely have any black left. So I'm definitely going to add another skein of that because I don't want to run out. And then I also am running low on the yarn that I usually use for the combs of the chickens. And I used to get that yarn elsewhere, not on the Premier website. But I'm trying to just switch all my yarn to Parfait Chunky, honestly. Well, I will still now go back to shopping at Michael's, but it's another story for another day. Today we're focused on the Parfait Chunky. And I think that for the combs, I'm going to try out this Harvest color. Um, I'm kind of second guessing it now though because the maple leaf color is also really nice. I like to use kind of a reddish orange, not a true red for the combs, but now I'm worried that Harvest might be a little too brown. But y'all, that's what I ordered, so that's what we're adding to the cart. But now I don't know, maybe I should have gotten maple leaf. Ugh, I don't know, y'all, but can't turn back now. We can only look it forward into the future. And the next pattern on my list is actually another one that I don't need to shop for because it's my axolotls. And as I already mentioned, for these guys, I use the pink lemonade color. And this is for the body. And then for the accent colors, like the gills and the tail and whatever, the fins, I don't know, what is it called on the axolotl, but I use hibiscus. And those colors go really well together. I love that combo, and that's what I use. And if I want to make any other colors, I do. As I think I've already mentioned, I usually order a lot of colorful colors in my Parfait Chunky orders. So I have a bunch of like really colorful colors if I do want to mix it up with my axolotls. I don't really need to order any more colors like that. This time it was mostly to get those neutrals. I also don't have like any greens, so also to get the greens. But anyway, that's that for the axolotls. And now we can move on to the little bees. And I know that I did already add the summer squash color to my cart, and I said I was gonna use that one instead of the sunshine, but I think that I'm gonna add a skein of sunshine to my cart. And here's my justification again, is because I do actually make different variants of bees. I make just your standard classic bee that's yellow with black stripes and the white wings, but then I also make kind of a softer toned bee that's with brown stripes and cream colored wings. And so I feel like I should keep using the sunshine color for my yellow black striped ones with the white wings, and then maybe the summer squash color would look really nice with cocoa with it, right? That would look so good together. I feel like the summer squash and the cocoa would look really good together. I also have chocolate, which is what I've been using, but I think the summer squash and the cocoa is where it's at with the cream colored wings. So I'm gonna add another skein of sunshine. Well, not another skein. I'm gonna add a skein of sunshine to my cart to go with the skein of sunshine that I already have in my stash. And that should be good for the bees. And it's perfect timing because I'm $3 away from free shipping right now. And that's the end of the patterns that I for sure have planned that I 100% want to make for this market. So now I finally have $3 to spend on whatever yarn I want, and I already know what yarn I want. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, I'll link it above exactly which video I talk about it in. Or if you've seen any of my shorts, you might know that I've been working on this zombie bear, this cute little zombie bear, and I thought I had enough yarn for it, but I didn't because it required the basics chenille in cotton candy. Well, not required. I was using the chenille basics in cotton candy, and I thought I had two skeins of it. Turns out I only had one skein of it, and so my bear has a completed body and only a half completed head, and I would absolutely love to finish that bear because one, it's a pretty big item to just have sitting in my whips bag, so I just want to finish him finally so that I can take him to my market, but also it'll just be such a nice accomplishment to finally get to finish him. The colors that I'm using for him, by the way, are cotton candy because he's a zombie bear, so he's half and half. So half of his body is cotton candy, and the other half I use this pastels color. So a cutie little bear, a little spooky, but also really cutesy, which I love. I love mixing up the cute and the spooky. So that's going to be my final skein that I add. And congrats, you get free shipping! We did it, y'all! We shopped for all of our yarn! And that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed yarn shopping with me, or maybe you even found something helpful. Maybe you learned something. I don't know. Hopefully my tips and everything helped y'all, telling y'all how I think through when I have to create my market prep plan and how I go about my yarn shopping while trying to be strategic about it, but also still wanting to have fun with it. So if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to see more of my face on your feed, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. Also, make sure to leave a comment. Like I said before, if you do have any useful market advice, tips, make sure to drop that down below because again, I think it would be so fun to have a little community of all of us sharing all of our helpful tips and tricks and everything with each other, helping each other out because these markets can be hard, y'all. Every part of it. It is a lot. It's a lot to think about. It can be stressful. I get it, and I'm sure a lot of y'all get it too. Also, if there's any other thoughts that you have about today's video, any other comments that you want to make, if I chose a color and you were like, oh, girl, you should have chose this one instead, or if you just saw any perfect chunky colors that you liked or ones that you think I should buy in the future maybe to try and show in a video, or whatever, leave it down below. Or if you're like me and you're more of a shy girly and you don't like to leave word comments, you can leave a yarn emoji to let me know that you've made it to the end of today's video. And because we did do so much yarn shopping and browsing today, I hope y'all had a fun time hanging out with me today because I know I had such a blast hanging out with all of y'all, and I hope y'all have a magical rest of your day. Bye bye! Ooh. Who dareth stay after the outro of the video? Y'all, I'm such a nerd. I wasn't even like a theater kid or anything. I don't know how I ended up this way, but welcome! Welcome to the secret scene. Yes. Honestly, it's because of the secret scene specifically. I love when a movie has a secret scene. I'm the girly who stays in my theater seat until all the way to the end of the credits because y'all never know. There could be a post-credit scene and I'm not about to get up and leave the movie early. I stay till the end. So if y'all stayed until my little secret scene ending, well, you guys get a spoiler. Today I actually did it right, like they do in the movies, because this is a little sneak peek to my weekly vlog. Well, I guess you guys have already seen this, but let me show you guys how many I have. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh, there's more, but I can't hold them all. But I promise you guys, there's 8. Here's 4 of them. This is half. I can't wait to show them to you guys in my next vlog. Thank you guys for staying until the very end, till the secret scene. Bye!